there's something that we share with them. There is just this link. Who knows if it's a culture of women, but there's something that we share. There's a bond that we share.
None of us had ever been to college, so we didn't know what to expect. We met the guys in the classes, and we knew we couldn't use the gym. We sort of figured that it would take a little while for them to get used to us, and so that it did. We didn't have any sports at all, and so we started asking if we could have a place to practice basketball. And it just so happened that someone by the name of Hazel Hughes was a graduate student, had come in with the women that year, and she had been a coach. And so she said to the administration that she would coach us if they allowed us to use the room downstairs with all the pillars. And so we started.
Hazel Hughes was a wonderful person.
Hazel Hughes was a wonderful teacher too. She was your mentor. She was your friend. She was your teacher. When you had problems, she was like a mother. And I was on the basketball team in Fitchburg High School and have played basketball all my time. I'm little and I'm fast and I have a hook shot.
The sentimental journey gonna set my heart at ease. Gonna make the sentimental journey to renew all memories. Got my bag, I got my reservation. Spend each time I could afford. Like a child in wild anticipation, long to hear that all aboard. 7, that's the time we'll leave at 7. I'll be waiting on from heaven, counting every mile the railroad track that takes me back. Never thought my heart could be so yearning. Why did I decide to run? Gotta take this sentimental journey, sentimental journey home. Never thought my heart could be so yearning. Why did I?
1972.
Yep, we finally earned our ranking to be a varsity girls basketball team. And even at that, but prior to that, the only thing that we did, because I didn't feel comfortable about going off to the other colleges and challenging them like I normally would do, whether I had a team or not. We were going around as like an intramural team. High schools, recreation pickup teams at the rec centers, colleges that had intramural sports on campus.
stars. I'm gonna give you my heart, 'cause you're a sky, 'cause you're a sky full of stars, 'cause you light up the park. I don't care, go on and tear me apart. I don't care if you do. Cause in the sky full of stars, I think I saw you. You're a sky full of stars. I wanna die in your arms. Oh, oh. 'Cause you get lighter the more it gets dark. I'm gonna give you my heart. Oh, I don't care. In a sky full of stars, I think I see you. I think I see
I had this one guy, Charlie Hall, who was our basketball coach after I decided that I had to continue being the administrator. So, and I said to him, Charlie, I said, you know, the first day I find a competent woman to do this job, I said, you're gone.
Correct. Pat and I had a chance meeting at an MAIAW tennis tournament in the fall, right after I had graduated from Bridgewater. And I think we were engaged in a conversation, and I said something like, okay, well, I've graduated from college. Do you have any coaching positions available? Meaning the basketball program. And she said, well, no, we don't. She said, but let me go back and see what I can do. So in a further follow-up meeting with Pat, she offered me a part-time assistant coaching position for $400. Well, I thought I had hit the jackpot.
Did you ever think at 22 you'd be coaching?
I had hoped so. That's why I approached Pat, because even at Bridgewater, I was very, very interested in the coaching side of the game, and attended coaching clinics when I was at Bridgewater. So I remember thinking that if at all possible, I'd like to make this into a profession, into a career, but never assuming that we would be sitting here today talking about it.
The question I have is your decision to offer the assistant coaching job to Pat Glispin. How did that come about?
So Pat was a very good high school coach at Grafton at the time, and I needed an assistant coach. And she and I were friendly enough, that we knew each other, and that was one of the best things I ever did. One of the absolute best things. We meshed very, very well. Very well. And she was terrific. I mean, she knew what she was talking about. She was a very good coach. She had a great sense of humor. We had fun together, and yet I felt very comfortable with her by my side as an assistant coach. But she got the job at Clark. I was like, okay, that's right. That's absolutely right. She should have that job, because I really felt like she was going to be the best person.
And Coach Stevens decides to leave for UMass, which happens to be your alma mater, and you go with her.
And again, Coach Stevens has been in the news a fair amount of late because she's one of 6 coaches to win 1,000 games. So I think when you have an opportunity to work with somebody like that, it's incredible. And to be perfectly honest, at that time, I can recall, talking with Wally Hallis, the AD at Clark at the time, and I really didn't have the confidence to be a head coach. So I love being an assistant. I love that relationship with the players is a little less stressed, and really enjoyed working with Coach Stevens. Chance to get back to UMass. I went and had a great year. Really had a great year.
So the position opens up at Clark that next year.
Amazing, isn't it? And
did you jump?
I wouldn't say I jumped. I really thought about it because I had the opportunity to stay at UMass as an assistant or move on and become a head coach. And if I was going to be a head coach, I thought Clark was a great place. I had some familiarity. I really, believed in the institution. I knew Wally Hallis pretty well, and if I had that opportunity, but it wasn't a real jump at as much as it was, I think I have to take the opportunity. If I'm going to be a head coach, this is the time. So I did.
Undone, shining brighter than the sun, 'cause we are legends, and we'll live on in memories on the pages of history. Forever you'll remember me, 'cause we are legends. Behind and say goodbye. But you and I will redefine space and time, 'cause we are living on the run, like a legacy undone, sun, 'cause we are legends. And we'll live only memories on the pages of history. Forever you'll remember me, 'cause we are legends.
So was the Final Four, the 82 one, was that the first final, the NCAA tournament? Do we know?
That's a good question.
It's got to be one of the
It should have been
early
81,
ones.
82. I don't know if it was the first Division III one. Then there was the 4 at Elizabethtown, and then we held it the next year. I remember
do
going with Wally to the committee
Oh, really?
and making a presentation about having it at Clark.
The pressure to get to the Final Four that 83 season, I know, was off the charts.
Yeah. Yeah, it sure was.
Then you must have said, why did we ever say we would host?
Yeah. Well, obviously we thought that if we had the team that got us there, we knew we were having a lot of people back.
The athletic director at the time, Wally Hallis, had done a major bid presentation to the NCAA to have Clark be a host of the Final Four. And
How surreal was that?
Actually, the road to the Final Four was really the surreal part, because you can only imagine the pressure of having to win. I think you had to win 3 games at the time to make it, and it was 5 all the way to the championship. So we had to win the regional, then win what was then called the Elite Eight, and then you're into the Final Four. Huge games to get in. And I remember, the game I remember most in my entire time at Clark is both the men's and women's team were hosting the Elite Eight games to make it to the Final Four. And I just remember that the campus, you cannot imagine how packed the Neller Athletic Center was. There was not, you could barely breathe in there. There were so many people. People were sitting on the floor right from the sideline to the bleachers, and then standing behind the bleachers. And, I'm sure that the place was at maximum capacity. And we played both the men's and women's games that night. I remember that, and then the Final Four. I mean, you're bringing the 4 top teams in the country into Worcester, Massachusetts, to play basketball games. But it was just a tremendous college atmosphere. And really, it was, at that time, basketball was really huge at Clark.
Told me, babe, someday these will be the good old days. All the love you won't forget, and all these reckless nights you won't regret. Someday soon your whole life's gonna change. You'll miss the magic of these good old days.
I was thinking about the band, I was thinking about the fans. We were underground, loading merch in that 12-passenger van, in a small club in Minnesota, and the snow outside of First Ave. I just wanted my name in a star. Now look at where we at, still growing up, still growing up. I would lay in my bed and dream about what I'd become. Couldn't wait to get older, couldn't wait to be some. Now that I'm here, wishing I was still young. Those good old days.
I wish somebody would've told me, babe, that someday these would be the good old days. All the love you won't forget, and all these reckless nights you won't regret. 'Cause someday soon your whole life's gonna change. You'll miss the magic of the good old days.
Wish I didn't think I had the answers. Wish I didn't drink all of that blast first. Wish I made it to homecoming, got up the courage to ask her. Wish I would've gotten out of my shell. Wish I put the bottle back on that shelf. Wish I wouldn't have worried about what other people thought, and felt comfortable with myself. Rooftop open, and the stars above. Moment frozen, sneaking out and falling in love. Me, you, and that futon, we just begun. On the grass dreaming, figuring out who I was. Those good old days.
I wish somebody would've told me, babe,
were still young. Maybe you always look back and think it was better than it was. Maybe these are the moments. Maybe I've been missing what it's about. Been scared of the future, thinking about the past while missing out on now. We've come so far, I guess I'm proud. And I ain't worried about the wrinkles around my smile. I got some scars, I've been around. I felt some pain, I've seen some things, but I'm here now. Those good old days.
You don't know what you got till it goes, till it's gone. You don't know what you got.
I want to thank them all for helping me become the coach that I am today. I want to thank them all for making this such an enjoyable profession that I didn't want to find something else to do. I want to thank them for putting up with me in my growth period.
It goes both ways.
Yeah. But, you know, I mean, like I just said to you, I mean, you know, when you're 23, 24, 25 years old and you're trying to figure out how to coach and manage a team and do all that stuff, you know, a lot of, you know, I acknowledge a lot of mistakes were made and but yet there was room to grow. I realized that this was the profession that I wanted to stay in, God willing, and
It's worked out pretty well for you.
That I hope that they realize that the real deal with this whole athletic piece, at least in basketball, I believe, is the exchange between people, and I'm really, really grateful for their contributions to me, to the program, and I would hope that our current players can realize the opportunity they have to. The connection with the people is everything in sports, and I'm just grateful that I've been able to be a part of it for so long.
What do you see when you look at me? What is the first thing that you think? What's on your mind when you talk to me? Is it my size, my class, my clothes? What do you think you know about the girl you met a moment ago? So much you don't know. You've gotta look deeper than what you see. We are all bound together, we're like one big family, like one big family. You've gotta look deeper than what you see. We are all bound together, we're like one big family, like one big family. Hold my hand if you understand what I'm trying to say to you. We are all the same. Hold my hand if you understand there's light inside of you. We are all the same. How you gonna face the changing world with eyes that never look beyond? Someone's age, their race, their weight, oh. And maybe it's time that you realize you can't see the forest for the trees when you've got a veil on your eyes. And that's why you've gotta look deeper than what you see. We are all bound together, we're like one big family, like one big family. You've gotta look deeper than what you see. We're all bound together, we're like one big family, like one big family. Hold my hand if you understand what I'm trying to say to you. We are all the same. Hold my hand if you understand it's a light inside of you. We are all the same.
of living life, of sharing joy. We might celebrate on a different night from each other, but we all breathe the same air, and we all cry together, 'cause we are bound forever like one big family. Hold my hand if you understand what I'm trying to say to you. We are all the same.